Well, welcome to another adventure of Gonagain. Now in this video I'm going to do a review on this Audew DP300 solar charger or power station. And the thing about this is I decided to do this review because this has two features that make it really interesting. There's a ton of these on the market, and I get offered to do reviews on them all the time. But when I saw this one, I thought this could be useful. You see, it has all the regular functions that you would expect on a power unit. It's got your USB charging ports here. It's got two USB-A's, and it's got the two USB-C's, and these are rated at 27 watts. This is a fast charge. And the USB-C's here. And then it's got your charging port here where you would plug in your charging cable. I got it backwards here. It's a little hard for me to get. There we go. This is to plug in your charging cable right here. I'll show it to you. There we go. So it's got, this is where you charge it from the port. It's got the 12 volt accessory plug right here. This is rated at 12 volts and 10 amps. And then, like I mentioned, it's got the USB-C's and the USB-A's right there. And it's got, over here, it's got your two pure sine wave 110 connectors here. And this is an on-off switch for that. But right here, it's got something that made this thing really interesting to me. This is a jump starter for your car. That port right there. It's got a really nice light on it. It's a floodlight, not a spotlight. And it kind of floods, so it does light a room very well. And it's protected by this door that slides over it. Here, I've got it turned on. You see, it just shows either a full battery or in 5 stages coming down as to the state of charge. And it tells you device work. Well, that means that it's working. And the AC is turned off. At this time, I got the switch off. It doesn't give you a wattage readout here, so you don't know how many watts are being drawn out of it. But it does give you the basics here. Shutting down. But the thing that makes this neat is it has a lithium iron phosphate battery. And that's something that the others don't seem to have. Now, the lithium iron phosphate batteries are not as susceptible to overheating. They won't overheat. You don't have to worry about this thing catching fire and burning up like some of the other lithium ion batteries will do or could do. You know, you've heard of people's phones catching fire and hurting them and things like that. Well, a lithium iron phosphate battery is safer in those regards. Also, this being a lithium iron phosphate battery, this is good for, they claim this is good for 2,000 cycles. Now, that's like twice what the other power stations are good for. 2,000 cycles. So like if you were charging this 2 times every weekend, that would be 104 charges a year. So if you were using this every weekend to go camping, this thing would last you almost 20 years like that. So you can bet you're going to at least get 10 years out of this unit. That's really good. I think that the reason they went with the lithium iron phosphate batteries might have more to do with the fact that this can also be used to jumpstart your car. So this can, they say the jump starter will handle up to a 4-liter gas engine and a 3.5-liter diesel engine. We're going to see how well that does. Also, over the next couple of days, I'm going to try this out, see how long it'll run my 12-volt compressor refrigerator. Now, the accessories it comes with, of course, it's got your 110 adapter for charging it through a barrel plug like that. Comes with MC4 connectors, so you can charge it or plug it directly into a solar panel that has MC4 type connectors on it. Comes with a cigarette lighter charging cord. It's not real long. It's about 3 feet long. And this is the cord that plugs into it. That's the plug right there for jump starting your car. One thing I noticed right off the bat here is these buggers are short. So depending on where your battery is located for starting your car, you may or may not have a problem plugging or hooking this up to your battery. It's got these two alligator clips. Black is negative and red, of course, is positive. Do as I say, not as I do. Well, what I got going here is a 5.3 liter V8 engine. I'm going to torture test that Audew DP300. They say it'll start a 4 liter gas engine, but we're going to see if it'll start mine. I'm not suggesting that you try to start your V8 engines with this unit. No, don't do that. I'm going to do it just to see if it can. What I'm going to start by doing is disconnecting my battery. Hooking up the cables here. Like I said, they are really short. That to me is a drawback. But does it have the power to do this? If it'll start this V8, then it's not going to have any trouble at all starting a 4 liter gas engine. Well, here goes. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. But like I said, don't do this at home. This was just a test on this unit. It was a bit of a torture test, but it was a little slow in cranking, but yeah, it started this V8 engine. So did it take this down very much? Let me unplug this. No, look, it's still showing a full battery. So it actually didn't. That's pretty darn good. Well, my tractor is deader than a doornail, the battery is. It could be because we've only used it once this year, but this is a good test for this Audew DP300. Now the tractor's got, it's a diesel engine, about 2.5 liters, so it's small, but it's got glow plugs on it too. So we'll see how this does. Okay, I got the glow plugs on. Well, that start test actually went above and beyond my expectations. I was really happy with that. The engine cranked over slower than it normally does with the regular battery, but it did start it. Once again, one more time, do not buy this unit to start your V8 engines. This is rated up to 4 liters, but now we know it'll handle that, no problem. And 3.5 on a diesel. So it's got 300 watts of power, and I think that on most of these things you can count on about 80% of that in actual usage, so that gives you 240 watts in my mind. And the thing about the lithium iron phosphate battery is it's basically just a more stable battery. It's also got a battery management system in it that protects it from things like overload, overcharging, high temperatures, things like that. It'll automatically shut it down in case any of that happens. Now, one thing I know a lot of you are going to ask is this 12-volt accessory plug here regulated or not? Well, the thing is, with a lithium iron phosphate battery, the current is very stable. And what they do is it maintains a steady voltage right until the end where it just falls off. While I've got this charging back up, there is one drawback here to this unit. You cannot use these charging ports while the unit itself is recharging. If I try to plug something in here to anywhere, it'll just show 0. There won't be any current flow through here at all. It automatically shuts off as soon as you plug this in. It shuts the rest of it down. Now the next test is to recharge this and plug in my 55 quart 12-volt compressor refrigerator and see how long it'll run that. So that's next. Okay, it's been 24 hours. This is down by, according to that, maybe about half. And if you check the voltage over here, you can see that it's still at 13.2 volts to the refrigerator itself. So we'll just see how much longer this goes. Well, now you can see why Linda and I spend so much time in the Southwest desert. Winter's not my thing. Well, I've been testing this out, this Audew DP300, for the last several days, and I gotta say I'm mostly impressed with it. But let's go back inside and talk about it. Well, how did we end up here? You saw it start my car, you saw it start my tractor. I plugged my 12-volt compressor refrigerator into it, and it ran it for a little over 39 hours. That was with an ambient temperature of about 68 degrees in the house. If you were running more like an ambient temperature of 80 or 90 degrees, you could cut that down considerably. But 39 hours it ran my refrigerator, and I kept an eye on the voltage, because remember I said that you didn't need a regulated 12-volt accessory outlet if you had a lithium iron phosphate battery like this, and this is what it did. It maintained 13.1 to 13.3 volts for 38 hours, or 37 hours. At 37 hours, it was down to 12.8 volts, and then in the last 2 hours, it went down to 12.1 volts and then 11.8 volts, and before it finally shut off. So it did maintain that voltage throughout, so you don't need a regulated port for it. So anyways, yeah, I think it did really well. Because of this kind of battery, they're claiming you can get 2,000 cycles out of it. I read a thing about the definition of cycles, and if you take it down to 80% and back up to 100%, that's a cycle. If you take it all the way down to nothing and back to 100%, that's one cycle. So anyways, that's my review of the Audew DP300. And would I suggest it? Yes, I would. If you can get around that, if you don't need to be able to have to charge it while you're using it, yeah, I would strongly suggest this one, because of this battery in it and the fact that you can start your vehicle on it. That puts this way above the others that are on the market, in my opinion. Anyways, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you around.